online. Thursday's a worksheet. Friday's online again. So you're online 4 out of 5 days. Here's the deal. By third hour, we shouldn't have to charge computers if you're charging them at night. Tyler might be the only one just because her device is an older one than your guys's. But otherwise, you need to make sure you're charging them at night. Okay? Now, next week, you only have 2 days of school. And then it's Thanksgiving. Monday's a review. Tuesday's a test. And people are like, why would you do that to us in a short week? Well, I don't want to put your test off until after Thanksgiving. That would suck. Okay? So I want to get it done. That way you truthfully have no homework over Thanksgiving for math class. Okay? So just so you guys know, and we do something really strange. We're doing 3-5 today and 3-4 tomorrow. 3-6 I break down, so it's just little chunks at a time because it's a really, really heavy section. So really we only have 3 sections left, but it's going to take us this week to do it. All right, let's take some notes so you can get rocking and rolling. Today we are going to graph linear equations, so lines, using the intercepts. Okay, using the intercepts. The x-intercept. The x-intercept is the x-coordinate of the x-axis, of the point where it crosses the x-axis, sorry. Makes sense, right? All x's. And then we flip to the y-intercept of a line is the y-coordinate of the point where it crosses the y-axis. Difficulty today is keeping track of which axis is which. X runs horizontally. Y runs vertically. 97% of the time they're labeled. Okay? 97% of the time they're labeled. Today, you're going to always have a dot on the x-axis. You're going to always have a dot on the y-axis. They're going to be simple things today that they give you a graph and they say, what is the x-intercept? Where does that line cross the x-axis? Would you tell me? 12. They're going to ask, where's the y-intercept? Where does the line cross the y-axis? 16. So any linear equation, as long as you have 2 points, you can always graph a line by using the x and y-intercepts. We're going to use the x and y-intercepts. Okay? Now, flip this over. Top on the back. I want you to do this on your own right now. Tell me what the x-intercept is for this line. Tell me what the y-intercept is for this line. On your own, and then we're going to talk about it out loud. Where does the line cross the x-axis? Where does the line cross the y-axis? Notice they're even labeled, yes? X, Y. On the x-axis, where does the line cross the x-axis? -3. Y-axis, where does the line cross the y-axis? -4. Now, these are 2 separate points. A lot of people wanted to write -3, -4. Well, -3, -4 is a point way out here. That means nothing to us. These are 2 separate points. You know what's going to trick you today? Sometimes on Alex, they ask for the y-intercept, then the x-intercept. So just read carefully. That's been a big thing this morning when somebody was doing it. They're like, I got this wrong. Well, read what it tells you. You mixed up your x and y-intercept. Now, here's the deal. Here's today's main idea. Write it down right here. Every x-intercept y equals 0. Every x-intercept y equals 0. Y is 0 because you never moved up or down. On the flip side, every y-intercept, do you have a guess? X equals 0. So whatever intercept you're finding, the opposite letter is 0. If you're finding the x, that means y is 0. If you're finding the y, that means x is 0. Okay, so they're going to give us a simple question like next. Find the x-intercept and the y-intercept of the line. This is pencil-worthy, but not difficult. Meaning you're going to have to show work, and if you show the steps, it's not going to hurt your brain. All right, we just said every x-intercept, y is 0. So take your equation and put in 0 for y. So instead of x plus 2y equals 4, I would have x plus 2 parentheses 0 equals 4. Everybody follow what I did there? Now, 2 times 0 is 0. So really that cancels out x equals 4. What's my x-intercept? 4. On the flip side, if I want to find the y-intercept, what do you know? X is 0. So start over, take your equation, instead of x, put 0. So instead of x plus 2y equals 4, we have 0 plus 2y equals 4. 0 plus 2y is 2y equals 4. So is my y-intercept 4 as well? What do I need to do? Bingo. Go back to chapter 2. We got to get y by itself. My y-intercept is actually 2. Why didn't I have to divide on the x-intercept? It was already a 1 by itself. Very good. It was already a 1 by itself. So you're like, that's not so bad, right? Not so bad. Let's look at the next one. Find the y-intercept and the x-intercept of the line. Okay? What do you know about every x-intercept? Y equals 0. So take your equation and plug in 0 for y. So we would write 4x plus 9 times 0 equals negative 13. What's 9 times 0? 0. So really this cancels out. I'm left with 4x equals negative 13. Now what do? Divide by 4. And you pick your calculator up and you type in negative 13 divided by 4. And you get a decimal. Does Miss Hoff want a decimal? So what do? I drag it straight down and then I look, can I simplify? Is there anything I can divide out of negative 13 and 4? Really, you're looking for 2's, 3's, and 5's. Well, none of those divide out of 13. Your x-intercept is a fraction. That's okay. So we repeat the process. This time we're finding the y-intercept. What do you know about every y-intercept? X equals 0. So we take our equation and we put in 0 for x. 4 times 0 plus 9y equals negative 13. 4 times 0 is 0, so it cancels out. 9y equals negative 13. Then I divide by 9. I type that in my calculator, negative 13 divided by 9. And it's a decimal, so really my y-intercept is negative 13 over 9. As long as you remember the opposite letter is 0. X-intercept, y is 0. Because then the y cancels, I only have an x. The y-intercept, x is 0. The x cancels, I only have a y. So they're going to give us a problem like this. Graph the line whose x-intercept is 9 and y-intercept is 7. If I want to graph the x-intercept of 9, on the x-axis, where would I find 9? Which direction do I go? To the right 9. So count over 9. Almost at the end, agreed? And then I need a y-intercept of 7. Where do I find 7 on my y-axis? Up. Notice, one of the dots is on the x-axis, one of the dots is on the y-axis. Every single time. And then the best part about doing this on Alex, they'll draw a really pretty line for you. Way prettier than the line that we just drew. Okay. I want you to try one more on your own. Flip it to the front. I know we skipped like a whole bunch of stuff on the front. Put it on the front. We're not doing anything from the front. So someplace where you have some space, maybe like right here. Anywhere you have space. I'm going to give you this equation. 3x minus 2y equals 18. I want you to find me the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Find me the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Did you get 6 as your x-intercept?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to tell you to be careful on your y-intercept. Why? Don't lose the negative on the 2. Negative 2y equals 18. Then you divide by a negative 2, so your y-intercept is actually negative 9. Okay, now, on a problem like that, are you going to have to show work? 100%. On a problem like this bottom one where you have to graph, is there any work to show? I'm not expecting you to show me work on that one. Okay? But on the ones where you have to find the x or the y-intercept, yes, you need to show work. Okay? 3.5 online is open for you.
What do you want to write on a piece of paper when you have the line?
You can just totally skip it. You don't even have to write anything down.
Okay.